Coming up, the Salute to Service continues, how the University of Iowa honors veterans through the week.
And a dance with Italy for one night only.
Iowa football players discuss how to bounce back for the upcoming game.
A week of mixed temperatures, all of your full forecast coming up in weather.
All that and more
coming up right now on DITV. Good morning from Iowa City. It's Wednesday, November 12th. I'm Liz Schultz.
And I'm Hannah Fideli.
And the third member of our team, Avery Evans, joins us live outside the Stanley Art Museum to tell us today's weather forecast.
Avery, you look like you may be turning into an icicle soon. How's it feeling out there?
Yes, Hannah and Liz, it is chilly out here this morning with a current temperature of 40 degrees, and it looks like the river behind me might be freezing over soon. Taking a look out onto the Pentacrest, for the rest of today, temps are looking to reach a high in the upper 50s with a bit of sun peeking through. Tonight, it'll drop down to the low 30s, and tomorrow we'll see sun in the afternoon as we warm up to a high in the low 60s. It seems like fall weather might be falling out this week. I'll have the rest of the forecast later, but for now, back to you guys at the desk.
Veterans were honored all across the University of Iowa. Flags are displayed all across the Pentacrest lawn in the shape of an eye, each one representing a veteran honored by families or friends. The display is part of the university's week-long celebration to recognize those who have served, including a breakfast and presentation later this week. Students say that seeing these flags is a reminder of sacrifice and service that deserves recognition.
They're kind of like the backbone of like why we're here. We wouldn't be here if there weren't any veterans, so we have a lot of thanks to give to them.
Events continue through Sunday with plenty of opportunities for students and community members to get involved.
And Veterans Day is also celebrated throughout Iowa City. The Iowa City's Veterans for Peace chapter hosted multiple events around the city yesterday. The first event was at the Ped Mall, where bells rang and Dr. James Zogby of the Arab American Institute spoke. And shortly after, a free lunch was held at the Iowa City Public Library. Zogby also spoke at the lunch about the war that didn't end all wars and instead launched a century of conflict. Veterans for Peace said that the day was meant to refocus the spirit of Armistice Day as a dedication to peace, rather war.
Crepes, coffee, and culture. The vacant space that Molly's Cupcakes left on the main street in downtown Iowa City didn't stay empty for long. DITV's Kibeti Mutumba has how a University of Iowa graduate and her family are cooking up something new.
Downtown Iowa City has a new place to satisfy its sweet tooth. Le Crave opened up on October 31st. The cafe sits where Molly's used to be. But don't be fooled, it's not a replacement.
Everyone knows Molly's Cupcakes, everyone loves Molly's Cupcakes, which is why we also decided to leave in a little hint of Molly's, like the swings that we have in store, you know. So I think it's not necessarily replacing them, but just giving more options to the community.
Those options include a combination of American and Middle Eastern flavors that were an essential part of Mariam's childhood. It's something that gives her friend and very first customer a sense of pride.
To have a friend of the same ethnicity own that business and kind of bring culture into it with some of the foods, like for example the za'atar, that also brings so much more into it.
And it wasn't that long ago that Mariam walked these halls wondering where she'd end up. She can't believe she got this far, this fast.
In a way, it feels surreal because just a few months back, I was one of those students, and now I have the same students or my friends walking in here.
And here at Le Crave, Mariam is taking these first few weeks to get a feel for Iowa City's appetite and answer their cravings. In downtown Iowa City, Kibeti Mutumba, DITV.
Charges have been dropped in a University of Iowa fraternity hazing case. 22-year-old Joseph Gaia was accused of interfering with police during a 2024 hazing investigation at Alpha Delta Phi. Officers found more than 50 pledges blindfolded in the basement, but Gaia's attorney says body cam footage tells a different story. After reviewing that footage, the court agreed and prosecutors dismissed the case. However, the fraternity remains suspended through 2029.
A band known for blending electric 80s synth and Italian rhythms is making a stop right here in Iowa City.
DITV's Annika Perez joins us live outside the James Theater to tell us about this unique group. Annika?
All right, ladies, you heard right. La Nuevo Testamento is coming to Iowa City. The Los Angeles band fuses a touch of the 80s with notes of dark Italian club music. This trio, with members originally from Italy and the US, is coming to the James Theater tonight to share their sound. According to the band's website, 2025 is said to be another monumental year for them, with the trio's most mature and explorative albums to date. Although most of them are from Italy, the band's name is Italian. Most of the lyrics are in English, so everyone will be able to sing along. Fans have said there is no sound like theirs, so be prepared for a unique experience. Tickets are $15 and online at theenglert.com, and this event starts at 7 o'clock. I personally love dancing, and I'm pretty sure this band does too, so bring your best dancing shoes, as this band is here for one night only in the US. For more information, tune in on Friday for the DITV segment The Vibe with Grace Lathrop.
At Iowa are leaving their organization. Both Iowa and Boston University announced their departure from the College Republican National Committee with a statement on Instagram, making it official on Monday. In the statement, the universities say that, quote, unfortunately, the CRNC has been run into despair, facing serious allegations of misconduct and demonstrating no clear path forward for future viability. The statement comes shortly after Politico, a political news company, released an article showing leaked messages from the leaders of Young Republicans' individual group chats. Iowa and Boston University will now be joining the College Republicans of America, saying this is, quote, an important step forward for the College Republicans community.
And a bar fight in downtown Iowa City in 2023 resulted in 3 stabbings. Now, the man who is accused has finally been sentenced. Christopher Torres, 19, got into a fight outside of Bardo when he was 17. The fight happened on 300 South Gilbert Street, and according to law enforcement, Torres stabbed 3 people with a knife. Cell phone footage confirmed Torres' involvement in the crime, along with text messages he sent to his girlfriend after the incident. And initially, Torres pled guilty to 4 lesser charges that were set aside by the court. However, he entered a new guilty plea just last month, which included charges of assault with a dangerous weapon and unlawful assembly. Police said that all 3 victims of the fight suffered stab wounds to the armpit and back, and one victim had a large slash across the body and face. Another victim suffered a chipped spine from the stabbing. Torres this past week has been sentenced to 2 years of supervised probation. Climate change is raising your property insurance. The annual Iowa Climate Statement is out, and its estimated homeowner insurance will rise 19% in 2025. 180 Iowa scientists across 16 colleges and universities gathered to discuss the issue. Climate change-related severe weather events leading to property damage are increasing, which means a rise in costs and premiums. The rising insurance premiums in Iowa are due to increased costs of labor, building materials, and reinsurance. Scientists also urged Iowans to make sure floods are covered by their insurance. They also said Iowa needs to be less reliant on fossil fuels and shift to clean, renewable energy sources.
We are now on day 43 of the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, but things are looking up. And that's why we have DITV's Felicity Menning in the newsroom.
Felicity, what's going on with the shutdown?
I'm glad you guys asked. After 43 days of the government shutdown, it seems like there could be an end in sight. On Monday night, the Senate approved the funding bill in a 60-40 vote. This means the House can make its vote as soon as this afternoon. From there, it will make its way to President Donald Trump's desk for the final stamp of approval. The mandated cuts to U.S. flights may only get worse if the government shutdown continues. Flight disruptions could skyrocket in the next few days if the House does not vote to end the shutdown. Yesterday, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy explained what may happen in the coming days.
You're going to see this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The big disruption thus far, massively more disruption as we come into the weekend if the government doesn't open.
On Tuesday, the Supreme Court made some decisions regarding SNAP benefits. The pause on a judge's order that the Trump administration pay full SNAP benefits for November has been extended until Thursday night. The Trump administration has argued that the legal dispute over the benefits could be resolved soon if the funding bill is passed this week. Even before the Senate voted to approve the bill, President Donald Trump indicated that he would sign. With the potential of the bill being approved and SNAP benefits going back to normal, the Trump administration argued that it would remove the justification for lawsuits demanding that they continue during the shutdown. We will continue to have government shutdown updates throughout the week, so be sure to tune in Friday morning. Back to Hannah and Liz at the desk.
An Iowa staple is seeing some major changes. Come and Go gas stations announced its plans to rebrand last November, and they have recently begun the process in Johnson County. Part of the rebrand includes changing the name of locations to Maverick. In addition to renaming, they will also be offering a variety of deals for their rewards program members and adding self-checkout options at stores. Customers can also now use QR codes to pay at the gas pumps. The rebrand began in Iowa in early October, and there will soon be 4 Maverick locations in Iowa City.
Iowa Classic has been unveiled as the theme for the 2026 RAGBRAI 53 ride. Organizers chose a water tower-inspired logo aiming to highlight small towns across the state.
And it's just in time to celebrate Iowa's 180th and America's 250th anniversaries. The ride route will soon be announced while many riders begin their training. RAGBRAI runs from July 18th to July 2026, and registration opens this Saturday.
And you know, guys, some excitement. My mom and my stepdad, they do RAGBRAI every year, but I'm considering joining them, and I'm going to start training soon. And, you know, I'm anxious about it, but I'm really looking forward to looking into that. But Morgan, what's coming up?
And good luck to you, Liz. Coming up later, football prepares to head out west. Baseball hunkers down for the winter, and it's tournament time for a couple of Hawkeye sports. All that and more after the break.
Stories occur every day, and here at DITV, we've got you covered with up-to-date news and politics.
We are anxiously waiting for those votes for not only the national election, but here in District 1.
Community members protest and stand for science.
Keeping highlights and scores with Hawkeye Sports.
Advancing to the quarterfinals, Iowa looks to boost their overall placement and their way into the semis.
It's Iowa's second road win of the season, first since September 21st.
And of course, all the latest in entertainment.
Sit back, relax, and here's the word on the street. I'm here at the Alan McVeigh Theater where a unique performance.
Here at DITV, we've got a crew bringing you all the stories from across the nation and right here in your backyard.
From the Iowa State Fair.
In Nashville, Tennessee.
From downtown Iowa City.
From Carver Hawkeye Arena.
And bringing all the coverage straight to you live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. Around the University of Iowa and Iowa City community, we have the stories that matter to you here at DITV.
Welcome back to DITV. And Liz, I don't know about you, but I've had to bust out my winter coats and get all cozy with my fur jackets.
I have as well, and honestly, I didn't mind it at first. I kind of like staying warm. Bundling up, it's not that fun, but we're going to take a look back outside with Avery, who has the forecast for the week ahead.
It looks like we can see some sun coming our way these next couple days to make this cold weather seem a bit more manageable. As we take a look back on the Pentacrest, on Friday, temperatures will heat up to a beautiful high in the low 70s with plenty of sunshine, one of the last days to skip wearing a jacket. Saturday looks to be nice as well with a high in the upper 60s with some sun in the afternoon. We'll start to drop to colder winter weather on Sunday with temps in the low 50s. On Monday, we'll continue this drop with a high in the mid 40s along with a chance of afternoon showers, so don't forget to pack an umbrella. Tuesday, it will be mostly cloudy and in the high 40s, so I will for sure be dressing warm. With this weather getting more chilly, you can find me curled up under a nice warm blanket. Now sending it back to the warmth of the studio.
Thanks, Avery. And now, Morgan, I know it was a big weekend for some Hawkeye sports and some disappointments. Can you give us the rundown?
Of course, Hannah. And obviously, Iowa football is coming off of a tough loss to Oregon, but there are still 3 tests left on the schedule, starting with USC this weekend. With Iowa's record dropping to 6-3, their chances of the college football playoffs are pretty much 0. But there is still plenty to play for, including a potential 10-win season.
it still means so much to go out there and win. You know, we're competitors. That's what you want to do. And, you know, if you just go out there because, you know, we can't make the playoffs or whatever it is and don't want to win, then you're not a competitor at all. You're a coward.
But the issue then becomes keeping the course. Logan Jones shared that this team is great due to the fact that this group doesn't need to do much for extra motivation. However, there is still a specific message being emphasized with the Hawks to regroup for their game with USC.
Fix the effing pipe. So that's one of our sayings, you know. We didn't get the job done last week. All right, this week we got to fix the pipe, you know. Do what we got to do to get better, come back strong, and get the job done this week.
Getting back on track would mean beating a ranked team for the first time in 12 attempts. And with their fall slate behind them, the Iowa baseball team hits the weight room this winter. DITV's Ryan Paris has a look at the state of the team as they head into the offseason.
Those were the sounds of fall baseball in Iowa City as fans and former players alike flocked to Duane Banks Field to get a preview of the new-look Hawks. From a slate of scrimmages against Mississauga, Mizzou, and Heartland Community College to the annual Black and Gold World Series, there was a lot to like, but also a lot to work on. And now with the fall slate concluded and the leaves changing colors, the focus turns to the upcoming 2026 season. There are plenty of questions for manager Rick Heller and his staff to answer, perhaps most critical being which pitchers will make up the weekend rotation come spring. Last year it was Cade Obermueller, Aaron Savory, and Reese Buter, but the former two were drafted while the latter graduated. While there are some veteran arms he can turn to, Heller believes there will also be a role for the freshmen.
We're going to need them to pitch well if we're going to have a good season, and you know the goal was to hopefully get them to be sophomores before February.
To do that, they've used the fall season to learn from pitching coach Sean Kenny about what it takes to make it in college baseball.
All you can do is prepare yourself the best you possibly can, battle adversity, compete your ass off no matter what, and that's something big he preaches.
But if the pitching staff is still a work in progress, the hitters are anything but. Key pieces like Gable Mitchell and Kellen Strohmeyer have spent the fall putting in the work to build on last year's success.
I just want to enjoy every moment. I think, you know, there's not a lot of college baseball left for me, so taking everything day by day, not worrying about results and stuff like that, and just being a leader for the younger guys.
And the majority of the winter will be spent in the weight room, where Heller says the culture of his program is built.
I really believe that, you know, our development, our player development is as good as it gets in the country, and this is go time for us. I mean, this is where we have to make up ground.
And now just 3 short months remain until these stands are filled and players are back on the diamond. From Duane Banks Field, Ryan Paris, DITV Sports.
Despite bowing out early of the Big Ten tournament, the Iowa soccer team is into the NCAA bracket and hosting a first-round game. The number 5 seed Hawks will host 12 seed South Dakota State on Friday at 5 p.m. This is the 3rd straight tournament appearance for Iowa, tying the program's record for longest streak, and last year, Iowa made it to the Sweet 16. The Iowa women's basketball team will look to stay undefeated in their matchup against Drake tomorrow night. The 21st ranked Hawkeyes blew out their last opponent, Evansville, 119-43, setting a new program points record and getting the largest margin of victory in school history. The Hawks shot 64% from the field and will maintain that momentum heading into their 3rd game of the season. Well, guys, it'll be a huge weekend for Hawkeye sports.
Yeah, I'm hoping we'll see what happens with football this weekend. I know it's going to be warmer there than it is here, but things seem to be warming up. So let's toss it back out to Avery one last time to see what it's going to look like this weekend.
As the leaves are falling off trees, many areas of the Midwest have not only been feeling the effects of winter weather, but have also experienced their first snowfall of the year. On Monday, the snow came to say hello, with parts of Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin getting up to 10 inches of snow. The Chicago area also reported having thunder snow, which is exactly as it sounds, a mix of thunder and snow. I hope everyone stays warm this week. I'll send it back to you guys.
And Hannah, I hear today is a very special day.
It is. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday,
thank
Hannah.
you, Liz. And thank you for joining us online on KRUI 89.7 FM or listening on thedailyiowan.com.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Online anytime at thedailyiowan.com.
For Avery Arns and Morgan Brands, I'm Hannah Fideli. We'll see you next time right here on DITV.